friends, and here we are again, 4 o'clock. Your congressman, potential congressman, is here to talk to his constituents in a way that you can access me and figure out how to tell me what's on your mind, and so I can tell you what I've been doing all day. I imagine that'll be a lot more interesting to most of you when I'm actually in Congress. But today I want to talk about small business, and in case you don't know who I am, I'm David Esrati. I'm running for Congress in Ohio 10, which is all of Montgomery County, all of Greene County, and parts of Clark County. I am a Democrat. I am running against a 10-term Republican named Mike Turner. And Mike Turner and I have a very different definition of who we work for. Mike Turner likes to say he works for the base. Well, let's be a little more specific, looking at his political action committees that have donated to him over the years. He works for Boeing. They gave him $74,500 over his 10 years. He works for the Realtors PAC. He works for Honeywell International, Deloitte & Touche, Lockheed Martin Corporation, Radiance Technologies, BAE Systems, Tuesday Group, I think that's a political one, Raytheon Company, General Dynamics, National Air Traffic Controllers Association, employees of Northrop Grumman, the National Beer Wholesalers, General Electric Company Political Action Committee, AKSM Urology Political Action Committee, Leuna PAC, UPS PAC, Republican Main Street PAC, Harris Corp, Build PAC, Oshkosh Corporation Employees PAC, the Engineers Political Education Committee, Reed Elsevier, AT&T Federal PAC, General Atomics Political Action Committee, Lidos Incorporated, Ball Corporation, Sierra Nevada, McAndrews and Forbes Holdings, Bechtel Group, American Maritime Officers Voluntary Political Action Fund, United Technologies, and I'm down right now, I'm at 30,000. Then we got the International Association of Firefighters, DLA Piper, Political Education Patterns. Every Republican is Crucial. Really? Huntington Ingalls Industries Political Action Committee, Eastman Kodak Companies, SAIC, Majority Committee, American Bankers Association, Serco, the Procter & Gamble Company, National Automobiles Dealers Association, the Pakistani Americans Public Affairs PAC, Pakistani American Public Affairs Committee PAC, and it's the PAC, P-A-K, PAC, P-A-C, PAC. And then the Physical Therapy PAC. Those guys round out the bottom at $25,000. So those are big donations. And what are they buying? I don't know, because 1, I've never been in congressman. 2, I'm not for sale. And 3, that's crazy money. Just handing it over to them. So I'm going to talk to you about government contracts, something I know a little bit about, and what the government considers a small business. So they've got this crazy program for certifying service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. I've been certified as a service-disabled veteran-owned business since about, I think, 2007, 2008. I started a group called BOB 108 with some other paratroopers, and we had meetings once a month, and we built out a nice nonprofit that was doing veteranpreneur training, helping veterans set up businesses. And one of the things we kept running into was you needed to be registered in SAM. It used to be called something else. SAM is the system for something management, acquisitions management or something along that. And they often wanted you to have what's called something through the Government Services Administration. They wanted you to have a GSA schedule. Now, how the GSA, who's the part of the government that manages all the buildings that the government's in, got to be the primary accreditor of small business, I don't know. You'd think it'd be the SBA, but no, it's the GSA. And to do this thing, there's a whole industry of people that charge you $3,000 to $5,000 to get you registered as a contractor and a GSA schedule. And once you have a GSA schedule, then supposedly government procurement people can just hire from you because you've got this contract with the government to do stuff at set prices. Well, in my industry, that there are no set prices. Like, we're not selling widgets, we're selling processes and thoughts and ideas and ads and media buys. And it's all pretty fluid. But either or, if you spend the money and you get one of these GSA schedules, it doesn't guarantee you contracts. It also has this thing that if you don't get $25,000 within 2 years or 3 years, you get kicked off of it and have to do it again. So these little cottage industries are making a ton of money taking small businesses to fill out a bunch of forms that are overly complicated and ridiculously complex so you can have a GSA schedule. And then on top of that, you see through SAM, you'll see contracts offered. You'll see RFPs, RFQs, sole source, contracting, everything. And it's insane because a lot of them have requirements for small business participation, including priority for small service-disabled veteran-owned businesses and 8A firms. 8A firms are for people from places like India, and they get priority over service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. And how do I know this? Because one of the biggest 8A firm success stories was Mike Turner's former boss, Raj Soin, at Soin slash, what did he call? I can't even remember his company, but he ended up selling to BAE. I should remember what it is. Right now, they're trying to sell their headquarters or demolish their headquarters that was on London. MTC Corporation. On London. I can't remember, for some reason I'm drawing a blank. But Raj Soin was an 8A firm, got all these contracts. Michael Bridges, who's one of the trustees at Wright State, he's another 8A. He says he's Indonesian or something, and therefore he's eligible. And he's made millions of dollars on this. Now, they require, if you're an 8A, you just move to the head of the class and get the contract. If you're a hub zone, which my business also is, depending on how many of my employees live in a certain area, then you're eligible for a contract. Your headquarters and 35% of your employees have to be engaged in, have to live within a disadvantaged business area, a hub zone set by the SBA. And then also I was a service-disabled veteran-owned business, and there's requirements for federal agencies to require 3% participation on contracts with service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. So I tried to pursue that for a while. I tried to work with recruiting commands for the military. I talked to the Army's agency, which for a long time was Leo Burnett, but they were just about to lose the contract. They included me on their bid. They lost it to McCann Worldwide, and they claimed they had those participation goals. They never did. They lost it to DDB. I tried reaching out to DDB. Nobody would talk to me. DDB, by the way, is Doyle Dane Bernbach, very famous agency. They're the ones that came up with Volkswagen Think Small. They wouldn't talk to me. So I went directly to the Army Recruiting Command and tried pitching and got rejected out of hand without anybody actually listening to what the presentation was about and the concept, but that's all right. I also went to GDSM in Austin, who had the Air Force recruiting contract, and tried talking to them, and they weren't interested. And I talked to somebody in the Pentagon who happened to be from Dayton, Ohio, who was in charge of small business participation, and he sent a letter to GSD&M. I should know these things. He sent a letter to them wondering why they hadn't talked to me and engaged and met their 3% participation goals. And what I got was a letter from their subcontractor who managed their minority participation telling me to cease and desist. Let's face it. The government thinks anything below $6 million is a small business, and it goes up to $35 million, I believe. $6 million is a year is a pretty big small business. we need something for small businesses to get them off the ground, get them started. And so I had proposed at one time we have a GSA EZ schedule, just like you have the EZ form for tax returns. And actually some people from the Hill called and were interested, and then it disappeared. But I gotta say, it's insane. I got a thing today telling me I had to turn in some forms or something on my SAM or it would go away, and I had to log in and make changes. And one of the things they wanted was a notarized copy of a signatory of the person who runs the company. They didn't need that before. And then they said, right in the same email, it's not required. Well, is it required or is it not required? Do you want this? Do you not? Why are you sending me an email and telling me to update things and then telling me I need to do something that I don't really need to do? And by the way, with the GSA schedule, they also require you to pay Dun & Bradstreet a fee in order to do it. Now, paying a fee to do business with the government, that's sort of extortion. Why we're doing it to a third party, I'll never know. So, I'm going to tell you, Boeing, Deloitte & Touche, Lockheed Martin, BAE, Raytheon, General Dynamics, these people are not small businesses. But they're the ones who are giving the money to Congressman Turner. And so he doesn't care about small businesses on Main Street, mom and pop shops. He doesn't care how you struggled through COVID. He doesn't believe in the Build Back Better, where we actually build infrastructure. He believes in buying tanks the Army doesn't want. He believes in buying aircraft the Air Force doesn't want. He believes in spending lots of money on nuclear weapons because, you know, we really need those because we're going to use them sometime. I certainly hope not. We need somebody that takes care of people here. And one of the things I believe we can do that will make every small businessman's life easier is provide a payroll service free of charge to every small business so there is no more confusion about any of this stuff. Also, the SBA needs to register every small business and provide training for small business so they don't get dinged for not filing out the right payroll forms, the right tax forms, registering correctly. We need a streamlined system for setting up small businesses. I'd been a sole proprietor for over 30 plus years. When COVID hit, I became an LLC. I did that so the business could continue if I died from COVID. All of a sudden, every tax organization and their mother started recording my payments to the wrong places. That would be easily solved if we had a government payroll system and a government taxation collection system. So we don't have people like the city of Dayton having to pay for their own, which is done out of Cincinnati. This is what government should be concentrating on. Not things like how we're going to solve this immigration policy and the border wall, and we're going to talk about abortion till we can't stop talking. These are important issues, but do something else in between, please. Make it easier for small business to do business with the federal government. Make it easy for small business not to get dinged and fined and assessed fees for things that they just couldn't figure out because literally there's 20, 30 different sites to do all this stuff. We need to simplify business creation, business growth, business training, business taxes, employee issues like, HR, all this stuff, unemployment, so that it's nice, streamlined, and simple. So, I'm about done here. I did get a comment. Somebody liked the intro music. Hey, we're trying. It's going to be on the outro too. We should now be able to start running live video within the video so I can do talk about videos that I see and show them to you at the same time. We should be able to do a couple other things. And again, if you have questions, you can actually ask them while we're talking and I can respond. I do this every day at 4 live, Monday through Friday. I am going to have to miss a few days at some point because I'm going to have my rotator cuff repaired here soon. But in the meantime, this is how a forward-thinking, progressive candidate works to make sure we have contact between you and your congressman. Every single day, I'm going to have a digital town hall right here on YouTube. And I hope you appreciate it. I'm David Esrati. You can find out more at electesrati.com. And by Memorial Day, we should have a really nice revamp of the site. And there should be some other things coming up, like events where you can come out and meet me, hear me, talk to me, come out and have pancakes with me, and all that other stuff. So, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you got any questions or you want things answered tomorrow, leave them in the comments since you didn't do it while we're live. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you.